Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be making part 2 of my Christmas rum cake. I know that you guys are waiting for this video and I'm sorry that I took this long, but today I finally get to share part 2 with you so you can follow the recipe. But before I get started, I just want to take the time to thank all of you for liking my videos, for subscribing to my channel, and for giving me so much love. I really appreciate your feedback. I've been getting lots of comments and I can't even describe how happy I am to hear the positive feedback from you guys. There's one thing that I want to share with you. I got some questions asking if there is any substitute for alcohol that I soak the fruits in. The answer is yes. If you don't want to use alcohol, if you don't drink alcohol, or if you don't have alcohol available where you live, you can use 100% fruit juice. So for example, you can use 100% apple juice or orange or grape juice. Even if you have non-alcoholic wine available at the stores near you, you can soak the fruit in that too. I hope that information kind of helps some of you people. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. You can join my Instagram page. I'll leave my contact information down in the description for anybody who wants to send a message or ask a question. Guys, I'm so excited to share the recipe with you. One of my aunts inspired me to make the cake and I hope I can inspire you guys to make this cake. So there are 3 parts to this cake. The first one is the cake itself. Then I'm going to show you how to make the marzipan. And then I'm going to show you the buttercup or the royal icing. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let me just show you the ingredients and then I will tell you how much we are going to use. So first of all, I have the fruit that we soaked about a week ago. I have molasses, I have some eggs, some salt, I have some baking powder, I have allspice, cinnamon, I have butter, some brown sugar, and I have some all-purpose flour. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm preheating the oven at 325 degrees. So I'm going to deal with the wet ingredients first. So using an electric beater, I am going to mix the butter with the sugar. So 2 cups of brown sugar, 1 cup of butter. And the butter is room temperature. After that, I'm going to start adding in the eggs one by one. I'm going to be using 5 eggs in total. 5. At this point, I'm going to add in the molasses. This is about half a cup of molasses. If you guys don't have molasses available, you can always use honey. It's just gonna give the cake a nice color and a rich flavor. So now I'm just gonna sift together all of the dry ingredients. I have about 3.5 cups of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1.5 teaspoon of allspice. Every time you're baking something sweet, adding a little bit of salt to the recipe always enhances the sweetness. I'm just gonna go ahead and add half a teaspoon of salt and then just sift everything together. I'm just going to mix everything together first. The batter for a Christmas cake is nice and thick, like that. At this point, I'm going to add in the fruits. It's roughly around 5 cups. Don't forget any liquid that's in there, you can add that too. And now I'm just gonna start mixing with the spoon. I've already applied some butter to my cake pan. Now I'm just going to put the material into the pan. Here's the batter. Now I'm just gonna place this cake in the oven that's already preheated. Now that the cake is in the oven, I'm just gonna bake it for about 2.5 hours. The first hour, I'm gonna bake it at 325 degrees. And then it's gonna bake at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for another 1.5 hours before it's done. In the meanwhile, while the cake is baking, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit, and then I'll show you how I make the marzipan that goes on top of the cake before I put the icing on. Guys, look at that cake. It's been an hour. Now I'm gonna reduce the oven's temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. You guys, I wish you could smell the kitchen right now. It smells so nice in here while the cake is baking. So just a quick note guys, marzipan can be cooked or uncooked. I prefer making a cooked marzipan for my cake, and that's what I'm going to show you guys. I have a 1/4 cup of water. I have about 1 cup of sugar, 2 cups of almond flour. I have vanilla extract. I have 1 egg white, a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and I have about 1 cup of icing sugar that I'm just going to be using as needed. So just a quick note, I understand that not everybody has access to cream of tartar. If you want to substitute that, you can substitute it with lemon juice. So just use double the amount. So if I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, you can use half a teaspoon of lemon juice and it will do the job. And you don't have to use bleached almonds to make the almond flour. You can use whole almonds with the skin on. It's just gonna add some more fiber if anything. And because I'm gonna put icing on top of the cake, you're not even gonna see the marzipan underneath it. So it doesn't matter if you use whole almonds to make your almond flour. So let's get started. So I'm putting the pan on medium heat. So in a saucepan, I'm just gonna add in the sugar. So remember, this was a cup of sugar. With the sugar, I'm also going to add in the 1/4 cup of water. Make sure it doesn't burn. I'm gonna allow the sugar to dissolve. At this point, I'm also going to add in the cream of tartar. I am now going to add in the almond flour and mix. Make sure that you turn the heat off before you add in the egg whites, otherwise you will get scrambled egg. I'm now going to add in the egg white and stir it. After putting the egg white in, I've now put the heat on low and I'm going to continue cooking this for another 2 minutes. I have now turned the heat completely off and I'm just going to add in a few drops of vanilla extract and mix. I am now going to allow this material to cool a little bit. Okay guys, so now that the marzipan is cooling down, it has been 2.5 hours and my cake is ready too. So I took it out and now I'm just gonna add a little bit of more wine to it just to make it more moist. Let me show you how I do that. This is an optional step, you don't have to do it, especially if you're not using alcohol. So I'm just gonna take some wine that I have in here and I'm gonna spoon it on. All this is gonna do is help preserve the cake a little bit if you're planning to keep it for a long time. Plus it's gonna make the cake more moist. If you're making the cake non-alcoholic, then you can add juice at this point or simple syrup, which is just sugar water. Okay, that's it. Just a few spoons. Now I'm gonna leave this cake to cool down on the side while I work with the marzipan. So I have a clear sheet here that I'm just gonna put down. I'm going to take my caster sugar or powdered sugar and I'm just gonna put it on the sheet. So the marzipan, it has not cooled down completely, but it's cool enough that I can handle it with my hands. And all I'm going to do is, while adding caster sugar, and bind it together so I can roll it on top of the cake. I'm just going to knead the marzipan until I'm able to roll it. I'm going to make this into a round shaped ball. And then once it is that shape, now I can just flatten it out. And using a rolling pin, I'm just gonna roll it out. Okay, so let's get started. I have some vanilla extract. I'm gonna use a few drops of that in the icing. I have a cup of butter that I'm gonna use. There's 3 cups of icing sugar or powdered sugar. And then I have 3 tablespoons of milk. I'm just gonna beat all of this together. So we'll start with the butter. The room temperature butter. Now that the cake has had the opportunity to cool down, I am just going to decorate it for you guys now. Just a quick note. Before you apply the icing to the cake, make sure it's completely cooled down. Otherwise, you're going to have melted butter and sugar on top of your cake. Okay guys, so here's my version of the cake. This is how I decorate it. I always use these beads. They're edible and they remind me of ornaments, so I always decorate my Christmas cake with these beads. It's not a hard cake to make. Honestly, the hardest part for me is decorating the cake. And of course, avoiding eating it too much. But yeah, this cake is absolutely delicious. My family loves it. I absolutely love it. I really do hope that you guys give it a try and that you will love it as much as me and my family love it. Please let me know your feedback. If you do try this recipe, I want to see pictures. I have my information in the description below, so send me pictures. And once again, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you guys who subscribe to my channel. It's because of you guys that I make another video. So thank you so very much. If you like the recipe, please leave a thumbs up on this video. I really do hope that you like it. Please subscribe to my channel if you already have not, and hit that bell icon so you can get notification of my future videos. And leave me some nice comments and share it with your friends and family. Merry Christmas everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.